Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nonstop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. Today I will be talking about the best TV and movies that I watched in 2020. Frankly, due to COVID and stay-at-home orders, I watched a ton of crap. I might post like the full list of things I completed in 2020 just to scare you with how unproductive I was this year or last year. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get any better in 2021 for me. Like I said, I watched a ton of stuff in 2020. I watched a lot of bad stuff too, and I just sat through it. So I don't know how I'm gonna narrow like my disappointing and worst list. But for best, I was able to narrow down to less than 20 titles, I believe. So that's good. I don't want to like drone on and on and on. And before I start with the countdown, let me first do some honorable mentions. First, Die Hard 1. This was a rewatch for me, and it's seriously the best Christmas action film ever. I watched the sequel right after for the first time, and although that was good, it just wasn't as fun as the first one. Die Hard 1 is fantastic. Second honorable mention is Enola Holmes. Millie Bobby Brown is just this bright rising star. She's so talented and amazing, and I saw this twice and enjoyed it both times very much. Third honorable mention is It's a Wonderful Life. I watched this first in black and white, and then I rewatched it in color. I think it's slightly a little bit better in color, but the story itself is just amazing. It's sweet and heartwarming. Fourth honorable mention is Motocross. I got Disney Plus this year, and so I'm like watching DComs of childhood past, and for whatever reason I just really love Motocross. Last honorable mention, and the fifth one, it's Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella, the 1997 edition. I went on like a Cinderella binge watching thing this year, and so 1997 is a rewatch, and then I also went and I watched 1965 and 1957 for the first time. Of the three, hands down, 1997 is my favorite. That's it for honorable mentions. As you can tell, my taste is a little eclectic, and it's hard to tell what will end up on my year's best list. It's usually a mixture of what I rated it then plus how I feel about it now. I have 13 titles, and like I said, number 1 will be the best, but starting off at unlucky number 13 is a Japanese drama, Love Lasts Forever, Koi wa Suzuku yo Dokomade mo. The Japanese title has been shortened to Koi Suru, and this just made me so happy. We are introduced to a high school teenager for her senior trip. She's in Tokyo, and she encounters like a heroic doctor rescuing someone on the streets, and that just gives her like a lasting impression. Because of that, she decides to be a nurse and kind of wants to like reunite with him. I watched this as it was coming out, and it's like super sappy, but like sappy good. I haven't watched a J-drama in a really long time, especially like a romance J-drama, and this was everything I wanted in a shoujo love story. Our cold and somewhat of a bully doctor is played by the handsome Takeru Sato, who I remember from like the really amazing live actions Rurouni Kenshin. He played Kenshin, and the happy-go-lucky but sometimes slightly slow nurse was the main voice actress in the hit animated film Kimi no Na wa Your Name. So the cast is like very like good. They're like superb, super talented cast, and they had really good like chemistry with each other. If the two main leads got together in real life, I would like support that. Like, I'd be so down for that because I think they had amazing chemistry. I know that this might not be like something for everyone. The plot uses and abuses every single romance trope you can think of, but for some reason it just worked really well with me. There is obviously a bully romance, which is something not everyone can enjoy, but for some reason this just made me really, really happy. I like after every episode I would look up behind the scenes and like look up interview videos because I just couldn't let this go. Like I really got like J-drama withdrawals after watching this because that was just how much I like enjoyed it. It entertained me. At number 12 is Our Song Season 1 Woman the Girl. This is a mainland Chinese singing competition variety show. The second season they changed English title to Singing with Legends. The second season is good, but it wasn't like the first season was just far superior, and I don't think it was able to repeat that like success and magic. But yes, the first season is super good. If you love like Chinese music, if you love older Chinese music, if you want to get interested in Chinese music and older Chinese music, highly recommend. The concept is very simple. A veteran singer gets paired up with a younger singer and they compete with other pairs by singing duets. And this show introduced us to the magnificent Hacken Lee and Zhou Shen. They are just like, I don't even know how to explain how fantastic they are. The way their voice just blends and the way they sing. But it's not just them. Like everyone in this is very vocally talented, and there are a few characters in this that just have like the variety show personality. The host for this is also really good like Hao Choi. Like the way he talks and like moderates is great. And this is supposedly one of Fei Yuqing's like last singing show appearances because he's deciding to retire. But you know, these retirement things, you never know if it's true or not. But yeah, with all of that like in this cooking pot, like it just brewed this masterpiece. And I watched the Untamed and obviously fell in love with Xiao Zhan, and he's also in this too. So you know, there's just an amazing array of newish and older singers, and just the singing is amazing. And I think that's what really, like, that's the main watching point. I ended up recommending this to like a bunch of friends that I know who like either listen to or somewhat listen to Chinese music, and they all loved it. Number 11 is Love is Blind. You might be thinking, what's wrong with you? I'm judging you so hard for putting a reality dating show on your best like watch list and stuff. And I just want to say, I don't care. Honestly, I think Netflix just really knows what it's doing. Like Netflix is super duper smart and released this at the most opportune time. I watched this at like the peak of stay-at-home orders, and it just entertained me. And I am so ready and pumped for season 2. You don't know what Love is Blind is. I mean, do you have Netflix? Have you been living through this 2020 pandemic times? It's about strangers who like don't meet in person. They date through like pods, or they don't date, they like talk through pods, and if they feel like there's a connection, they can get engaged. And that's how they meet each other in person. Like they can only meet each other in person if they get engaged, and then it goes from there. And it's crazy, it's trashy, but it's so much fun. Like I said, come at me, Netflix. I'm ready for season 2. At number 10 is Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3. So I had like this one weekend with my boyfriend where we decided to just watch all 3 movies back to back. And honestly, it was a long weekend, but I actually ended up really enjoying it. I didn't know much about the movie beforehand besides like the popular memes, so I didn't know the story like at all, I would say. And going into this not knowing anything, I'm just really shocked at how good like this plot is. Like and then the scenery and the cinematography, like everything about this was very beautiful, in addition to like the plot. And I ended up giving the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, a 4.2 out of 5. The second movie, The Two Towers, 4 out of 5. And the third movie, The Return of the King, 4.1 out of 5. I and him are planning to do The Hobbit next, and I hope that I will love it as much as Lord of the Rings. I do plan on maybe one day picking up the books. At number 9 is The Queen's Gambit. Once again, Netflix just knows what it's doing. Actually, it doesn't really know what it's doing. It's just throwing everything at us and then just saying if it was sink or float. That's kind of, but this definitely, it didn't just float, it like flew, okay? If you get what I mean. But yes, Anya Taylor-Joy, she is such a unique beauty, and what a promising star. So this show is set during the Cold Wars. It's about an orphan, Beth, who is a chess prodigy, and she is also battling addictions of sorts. And this was just so well written and so well acted. The cast is just fantastic. I watched this really quickly because it was just very engaging. Like, after every episode, I'm like, come at me next episode. It's just like, yeah, it's very captivating, very engaging. I really like the colors of this, like the palette of it, and I really like the clothes as well. I know people are saying like, will there be a season 2? I personally don't think that The Queen's Gambit needs a season 2. I think it's staying as what it is with this really solid first season with a full arc of a story. Like, it's good the way it is. Number 8 is The Mandalorian Season 2. I enjoyed the first season, but I didn't love it. You know, it was good. However, the second season came back swinging hard. They made a lot of very smart moves. The introduction of Grogu was perfect. I love him and Mando so much, and their relationship is just so sweet. It had me like emotional at times in like this really great way. However, I do think that Disney is doing that thing again where they're gonna over milk Star Wars and it's not gonna be as good. So please don't ruin a good thing. Number 7 is Never Have I Ever. And I'm gonna hurt some feelings here, but I am hashtag Team Paxton. I don't believe in cheating. But with that out of the way and probably some heated discussions, this show follows a terribly awkward Indian American teenager with slight anger issues who's just dealing with a lot of stuff, okay? Sometimes the show does go a little overboard with the secondhand embarrassment, but overall I was super entertained. It had a solid rising and a really good like falling action sequence. It's funny and I just really appreciated the diversity. I am totally ready for season 2. Number 6 is Fringe. All of the seasons 1 through 5. Yes, I watched all of Fringe this year. And how I got started was on Instagram while I was like scrolling. A portion of a Fringe episode showed up and I was like, whoa, that is super interesting. And I like searched it. It was on Amazon Prime. I watched it, and like I said, in 1 year I banged out all 5 seasons. It was a really good show. It has its like ups and downs with the seasons, but it's mostly like high up there. And I think the finale season was like really well done. It wrapped everything up quite nicely, and I always appreciate it when shows have a solid ending. So it had a great beginning, a solid ending, and just like the cast, the story, the sci-fi aspect of it all were just really on point. In short, this is about FBI's like Fringe division, and they investigate crimes that are like in the very unusual like aspect sense. Honestly, I still can't believe that I watched all of it this year, but I highly recommend it, especially if you were like a sci-fi fan and you've never seen it, because it's really good sci-fi. Number 5 is Chewing Gum seasons 1 and 2. My friend Jackie recommended this to me, and that girl knows my taste so well because I love this. This show follows a young woman in her 20s. She lives in a low-income area with her super religious mother and very socially awkward sister, and just like fun, weird, and crazy antics happen in her daily life. This show is just ridiculously hilarious, and I was just so entertained and laughing all the time. It's witty and well written. The main actress, who is also the writer, I think her name is Michaela Cole, she is just so freaking talented, and I think this show was prematurely and unfairly canceled. Even though this show doesn't have like a proper ending, it feels like, I mean, it ended, but I do recommend that you check it out just because good stuff. Number 4 is Born This Way seasons 1 through 4, and that's almost the entire show. So my co-worker Alicia recommended this to me, and I really enjoyed it. It's educational, it's emotional, and just really heartwarming. After I finished this, I kept trying to like recommend people to watch it. I'm like, just watch it, because you should, okay? It follows a group of adults who are on the spectrum, and it shows like how they just go about their daily lives. It sheds light on their abilities, their life, and family. I learned so much, and it was just like fantastic and moving, and just, it's one of those things that like will just slightly always put a smile on your face. Each season is super short. I flew through all 4 seasons in, I think, a week maybe. It's that good. I love the cast, and the first season, like it was a great intro, and with each season, because you've already like followed the cast and you love them, it just gets better and better. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if this came back. I would be down for more seasons of this show. It's a reality show, so I feel like if they're willing to, after the pandemic, maybe they could come back. But yeah, there is, I believe, a Christmas special, but it's not on Amazon Prime, so I haven't watched that yet. Number 3 is The Old Guard. I remember finishing this and being shocked at how much I enjoyed it. There were moments this movie just had me on the edge of my seat, and I was like, I'm so entertained and engaged right now. I am captivated. I need to know. And I think that's just like a great feeling when watching an action movie, right? I did put in my written review that I found the dialogue at times like overly cheesy, but I think overall this was just a really solid film. I played it for my parents who like they said they didn't really like understand or get the plot, but they also thought like the action bits were very entertaining. Therefore, I think this movie has like range in the sense that it can reach everyone in different age groups, and they all can find it like entertaining. I think the conclusion leaves room for a sequel or even just like a potential follow-up mini series. I hope that Charlize Theron would come back for that. That would be nice if the cast is still together and there are no like changes. I don't want the dynamic to change. I don't want the group to change. But yes, this was good. Number 2 is Julie and the Phantoms. I still have this soundtrack on repeat on Spotify because the music is just that good, that catchy, that much fun. I freaking love this show so much, and I think it's like made better by the fandom. Truthfully, it was really difficult deciding what would get second place. I was like very back and forth with it. But I eventually settled on Julie and the Phantoms because, like I said, I think like looking back, it just gave me such like happiness. And I think looking back, it's the show, one of the shows that I'm wanting a season 2 the most. I can't believe Netflix hasn't announced a season 2. Like, what are they doing? They're dropping their ball on this. But I'm not shocked that I enjoyed this. You know, obviously Kenny Ortega is a part of it, and Kenny Ortega was also a part of High School Musical and Disney's Descendants, both of which I really enjoyed. And I think with Julie and the Phantoms, the two leads have great chemistry. The guys in the band together have a great bromance, and I think the plot is just like ridiculous but like slightly believable because there's a lot of like real life emotional moments in it, embedded in it as well. I'm not like a big fan of like movie musicals, but this just really like worked for me, I would say. And it looks like it's just another like teeny bopper show, but it's not, because it got some real stuff happenings, okay? The show is about Julie, who encounters foes. Okay, that like makes it sound like way too simple, but like the guys that she encountered, they were in a band in the 90s and they like passed away, and together with Julie, who's this amazing singer, they form a very kick-ass band. I don't know like what more I can say, because I feel like everyone who's seen Julie and the Phantoms that I know loves it. So the only question remains is, Netflix, where is our season 2 announcement? So we are at number 1, and that is Euphoria season 1. My girl Jackie came through again with this recommendation. After watching Euphoria, I was so obsessed, and I just needed people to talk to the show with, that like I like got my boyfriend to start watching it, and then I got like my co-workers to start watching it, so that we could just be in it together and discuss this show, because this show will create great discussions. The cinematography in this is spectacular. The cast is wickedly talented and fabulous at the same time. The storyline is very authentic, and I just really love Zendaya and Hunter. I think they're both just really amazing. My favorite episode is like the county fair carnival episode. I think that was just great. So the show follows a high school teen who just got out of rehab after an overdose. This show is so well written, and it's so based in real life. It just connects and engages its audience so well. It caught me in my feels, in all of my feels, and I'm sad that season 2 was like put on hold because of COVID. I know that they released like special episodes instead. I will be watching it soon. I haven't gotten to them yet. Wow, that was actually kind of long. Thank you for watching, and in the comments below, let me know what is the best thing you watched in 2020, so that I can get some recommendations for 2021, because like I told you, I don't think I'm gonna up my productivity. I think I'm just continuing to read and watch a lot of stuff. Tomorrow I will be posting my most disappointing and worst TV shows and movies of 2020. Therefore, outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video, whenever that is. Bye!